Okay, so Bezras Hashem, we are continuing with the introduction to the Zohar Kadosh, and we are still in the conversation where the donkey driver, who is the son of Rav Himnuna Saba, describes himself in the secret of Ben Ish Chai, darshaning the psukim of Ben Ish Chai, Ben Yoyada, the follower of David Malka Mashiach, and providing a fundamental entry point into the secrets of Yesoid Kol Almin, the secret of Or HaTzadik, and the Zohar Kadosh continues. Machsiv Abasrei, after describing Ben Yoyada, Ben Ish Chai, and the secret that through the histalkus of the tzaddik and through the ha'elim of the tzaddik, there's a churban to the Bate Mikdashos, because all of the or comes through or kitov, through the yisoid, melamala lamata. Machsiv Basrei, pasuk says afterwards, v'huhikes ish mitzri, ish mara, and he defeated the Egyptian person of image. And he defeated the so what does it mean that Ben Ish Chai, Ben Yoyada, the Or the Tzaddik, goes down and he destroys the Ish Mitzri? So again, the light is dependent upon the presence of the Or Kitov, of the Or of the Tzaddikim Yismach, to be Megalazain, the Chayas that comes down to Klal Yisrael. When there's a departure of the Or HaTzaddik, so Memela, the Hamshacha of that Chayas to Klal Yisrael, to Knesset Yisrael, to the secret of Malchus, is Ne'elam, and therefore it's as if it killed it. So what does it mean that the Ben Yoyada, Ben Ish Chai, went down in the day of the snow to destroy the two lions of Moav, and he also destroys the Egyptian individual? It means that as a result of the departure of the tzaddik, as a result of the departure of the Or of the tzaddik, anytime anytime the Klal Yisrael falls into inequity, now, the light of the tzaddik, the light of Or Kitov is Nistalik, the Or of Yesoid is Ne'elam, and is Yored down into Mitzrayim, the Hamshacha stops up, and there's a prevention, there's a blockage of all of the goodness and all of the lights, the Havinaharin line, that were originally shining to it. Huhikes Ish Mitzri, it destroys the Egyptian person. Dan Nuhura Dahahi Nuhura. The Havinahir Lan Yisrael. What does it mean that the departure of the tzaddik, the departure of Ben Ish Chai, is the destruction of the Ish Mitzri? The Ish Mitzri here is Knesset Yisrael, and it destroys all of the light that Knesset Yisrael had. How can we say that the light of Knesset Yisrael is referred to in Ish Mitzri? Man Ihu, it's the light of Moshe Rabbeinu. Moshe Rabbeinu is the panemius of the Das of Yisrael. Moshe Rabbeinu is Moshe Shapir Ka'amart. All of us are Moshe. Every one of us is a chelik of Moshe. Tonight is the yard site the Hilga Morinayim Skusia Ganalenu, and he darshans on the Gemara with regards to the Ha'alama of Moshe Rabbeinu's burial site, that to those that are below it appears that it's above, to those that are above it appears that it's below, and in the end of the day it's a lo yada ishes kluraso. But why doesn't the person know where Moshe Rabbeinu is buried? Zakta Morinayim, because Moshe Rabbeinu is buried in the innermost interiority of each and every yid, because each and every yid is a chilik of Das of Moshe, and the unfolding of Das of Moshe is the hiskalis of the Torah Atikas Tima, is the drawing of Moshe Rabbeinu from the Talmud of Hagenle, from a grave site that is inappropriate for him, concealed in the darkness of the Klipa of Pa'or. And our job is to be mamshech the Or of Moshe Rabbeinu back into Eretz Yisrael, not back into Eretz Yisrael, but rather into Eretz Yisrael for the first time, and that's the hamtaka of the Halamas HaTzadik. And so over here we see that Klal Yisrael is referred to as Ish Mitzri because Moshe Rabbeinu was the Ish Mitzri, and therefore the departure of the Tzaddik is goyrim, a certain siluk or a concealment of the light of Moshe Rabbeinu. And how do we know that Moshe Rabbeinu is called Ish Mitzri, upon which Klal Yisrael themselves are referred to as Ish Mitzri? The Tarmaina Ish Mitzri Hatzileini. The daughters of Yisro said it was an Egyptian individual who came to save us. V'teman is Yaldid, V'teman is Bari, V'teman is Talik L'Nuhura Ilah. And it's specifically there. Teman is Rabbi, V'teman is Talik L'Nuhura Ilah. And that's where the battle takes place. And that's where the departure takes place. When there's a Halama Nor HaTzadik, when there's a dried up nature of Yesod that can't be mashpia to Malchus anymore, so then all of the light descends, all the light goes away, and it's like the departure of Ben Ish Chai went down and killed the Ish Mitzri. Ish Mara, why is this Ish Mitzri referred to as an Ish Mara, a person of image? What it means, Moshe Rabbeinu is the Ish Mara. Moshe Rabbeinu is the Mara v'le bechidos, that he had beheld HaKadosh Baruch Hu panim el panim. Avada, the Hasaga of panim el panim, was the impossibility of grasping a full panim bepanim, but nevertheless Moshe Rabbeinu saw clearly through an aspakalari, the Denahira, and the revelation of the Aspeklaya Denahira is that you can't see fully. Through the Aspeklaya Deloinahura, through the clouded lens where it's not clear, all the other Nevi'im, so they had the perception that perhaps a person could come to grasp Panim Upanim. Moshe Rabbeinu saw very clearly, came to understand that Lo Yireini Adam V'chai. And that's why this Ish Mitzri is called the Ish Mara V'li B'chidos. Ish Kida Amart, Ish, as the pasuk says, Ish HaElikim, the Ish of Elikim, the godly individual, Moshe Rabbeinu, Kavyachol Bala Dahahu Mara Kved Hashem, so to speak, the husband, so to speak, the Hashpa'ah, the Tzaddik Side Olam, the Or of all the Tzaddikim is the Or of Moshe Rabbeinu, which is Ki'ilu, the Ba'ala of that image, that visage of the Kved Hashem, which is Shchina Kadisha, the Zachal Anhara Darga Da, B'chol Ru'usa Ba'ara, because as the result of that Or of the Tzaddik of Moshe Rabbeinu, that Hamshacha of Das of Moshe, the Mata Lamata, enabled the light of Marak Kved Hashem to shine within the desire of the entire land. Madiloi Zachi Bar Nashachre. Nobody else, no other human, as we understand, came anywhere close to Moshe Rabbeinu. Ubiyat HaMitzri Chanita da Mata Elikim. What does it mean when Ben Ishchai goes down to kill the Mitzri who was holding on to the spear? What is the spear that Moshe Rabbeinu is holding? The Mata Elikim. This is the staff of Elikim, which is Mahapech Mimata L'Nachash, Minachash Lamata, the secret of Lahat Achar from Misapechas and Eitzadas Teveran, the secret of Anhapechu Ashish to Ayudim Hema B'Saneim, and the secret of the Heichale Hatmuros, where something turns into its opposite and then the opposite turns back into the same thing, revealing the deepest secret of unity that HaKadosh Baruch Hu was found even in the palace of Paro. Like we know, Boyel Paro, the Zohar HaKadosh says in Parshas Boy that Dachil Mimenu, that Moshe Rabbeinu was afraid of Paro, but ultimately Moshe came to understand that in the heart of the belly of the snake, in the heart of Paro's palace, HaKadosh Baruch Hu was not saying Lecha Paro, don't walk to Paro as if I'm not there with you. Ela Boyel Paro, come meet me at Paro because I'm there also, says the Rebbeinu Shalom. This is the secret of the Mata that it's hapich to the Nachash, and the Nachash that's misapich to the Mata. And this is the secret of Moshe Rabbeinu having the Chanita, having the spear in his hand, Damata Elikim Dahaviyat Masya Biyadi, that was given over to Moshe Rabbeinu in his hands, Kada Amar to Marta Elikim Biyadi, that I have this, I have the power, says the Tzaddik, to be Mamshech the Ratzon of HaKadosh Baruch Hu, any which way I please, dependent on how I decide it's going to be, say the true Tzaddikim. Mata the Isbari Erev Shabbos ben Hashmashos, and this is the Mata that was created Erev Shabbos ben Hashmashos because it represents the morphability between Teva and Nes and Teva. It's that in-between space of day and night and day that has the capacity to bridge the two. V'chakuk be'shama kadisha. And the power of the Mata is because the name of HaKadosh Baruch Hu is engraved upon it. Gelifa kadisha, it's engraved in a holy way. The Hai Chav Besela. And then with this stick came Moshe Rabbeinu and he transgressed Kavyachol by the Sela, by hitting the stone instead of speaking to the stone. As the pasuk says that he hit the Sela twice with his staff. Moshe Rabbeinu, I didn't give you the koyach of the Mata. I didn't give you the koyach of the Mata in order to do this. That now, unfortunately, it's not going to be in your hands anymore. Miyad v'yared elav b'shevet the bedina kasha, and then the pasuk says over here that he went down and he destroyed him as Ben Ishchai in the histalkus of the Or Tzaddik is going him to the loss of the staff in the hands of Moshe Rabbeinu and the Hiki Ish Mitzri, which is the destruction of Klal Yisrael Chalila v'chas in a certain bechina. That means that it goes down into a state of dina kasha, of difficulty and severity, and as a result of this, Moshe Rabbeinu is not nichnas into the aretz begilui v'yigzol asachanis miyad Mitzri, and he stole the Tzaddik's departure, takes away the staff from the hand of Moshe Rabbeinu. At that moment, it departed from him and went elsewhere, and it was no longer in his hands. And he killed him as a result of his own spear, meaning to say that the departure of the tzaddik is goyrim al yidei the maisa of Moshe Rabbeinu, who utilizes in one degree or another in an unfathomable way, according to our understanding, that there's a chet kala over here by the hakas asela that is goyrim, that Moshe Rabbeinu loses kavyachal, at least behis galus, that capacity to have the mata elikim, but that's only bechitzonius, where Moshe Rabbeinu is still buried bechutz la'aretz. But the avodah bepnimius is to be mamshech Moshe Rabbeinu into Eretz Yisrael with all of the living tzaddikim, and to be makir that all we have in this world is this kashas to Moshe Rabbeinu v'Torasa Shemoshe, and the tzaddikim amitim, which is mamshech the hagana and the rachamim rabbim of Moshe Rabbeinu. Min ashleishim hachinichbad, from amongst the 30, it was the most beloved. I believe this is talking about Ben Yoyada. Ilin Shloishan Shana Iloyan Iu Natal Minhun Ve'angid Latata Minayu Iu Havinatal Leskar. If Ben Yoyada Menishchai, who we said is the Or of Yesoid, it's Yoinik from Chesed, Gvur, and Teferetz. Those Shloishim Shana, each sphere is filled with 10 other spheres, so it gives us 30 Chesed, Gvur, Teferetz. Iu Natal Minhun, that Yesoid is Mamshich from it, and it draws its light from there. But they don't take from him. Ve'el Shloisha Loibau Inun Have Asian Legabe Ve'Havile Berusa Delib of you Lo Yahavi Asi Legabeon. That Chesed Gvur Tferes give wholeheartedly Kaviyachol to the Or of Yesoid, because Yesoid is koilel all of the Oiris biyachad to be mashpia them in the secret of Kechol Bashamayim of Aretz, in the secret of the Achid Shmaya Va'ara, to connect all of the spheros, that all of the other spheres, Kaviyachol, all of the Shefa gives itself over wholeheartedly to Yesoid, but Yesoid is not mischaber to them because it's mashpia lamatav afagav diloy ayol b'minyana v'chushbana dilhoin v'yasimu david al mashanto al mashmaso. And even though, nevertheless, it's not going to be counted amongst them, there's the secret of Malchus, which is the secret of David, who rests on its own. Lois parish milusa deliba la'almin, that those words do not depart from his heart. Leis pruda lahayin la'almin, there's no differentiation, there's no separation between Yesoid and Malchus. There's always a yichud of kutsha b'richa v'shchinte. There's always b'ha'alama, a hiskashrus mufla between the elyonim and the tachtonim, and our job is to be megalazayin through the psichas ha'inayim that this is true in every moment. David Shamle Libe V'ihu Lav LeDavid begin the Tushbachen V'Shirin V'Rachmen the Sihira Avid LeShimsha Ihu Mishichas Le Legabe Lemeheve Diure Bahade V'Da'ihu V'Yasimu David Al Mashamanta Al Mashma'ata. No flew Rabbi Elazar Rabbi Abba. After hearing these words of the son of Rabbi Hamnuna Saba, Rabbi Elazar and Rabbi Abba fell. Naflu Kaime, they fell in front of him. Adahachi V'Hachi Loi Chamulei. Now, when they looked, they couldn't see him. They got up and they searched around through every which way, and they couldn't see him. Yasvu, they sat. Bachu, they sobbed. And they couldn't speak to one another. There was a silence. There was a loss of language of this experience. Labasar Shaisa, after a little bit of time, Amar Rabbi Abba says, it's obviously so true what they say, that along the path of the tzaddikim that they walk, there's always should be words of Torah amongst them, because that was Goyrim, the hiskalas of the son of Rabbi Nuna Saba. That those righteous ones of the elevated worlds, they come down to us. It's obvious that wasn't the son of Rav Hamnuna Saba. It was a Giloy of Rav Hamnuna Saba, which means that it was Rav Hamnuna Saba himself, that Or of Das of Moshe, the Asal Lagabin Mehu Alma that descended down to us in the Ha'ara from the elevated worlds, Lagalalan Milan Elin, to reveal to us these worlds, Va'ad Loinish Toim de Bay, Azileva et Kasimina. And before we can even know it and acknowledge it, he departed from us. Kamu v'havi bayu lemitan l'chamrei v'lei azlu. They went and they tried to move those donkeys that Rav Hamnuna Saba was drawing around, and they wouldn't move, almost like the Bilam donkey, the hepech of Moshe Rabbeinu. They came again to move them, and they couldn't move them. They were afraid and they sighed as a result of these donkeys. And up till this day, this path is referred to as the path of the donkeys. Ezra Hashem, we should be zoichet to open up upon the path of the donkeys, the path of Mashiach Tzidkenu, and to be zoichet to the Ani Roichav Al Chamor, to be zoichet to the Hiskalus Amiti, that's Niskala from the impoverishment of those who carry the donkeys behind us, to be Oimed Al the Soidos HaMuflaim of the absolute fact and secret that Yisoid and Malchus are always Makusher Dabada, and L'Shem Yichud Kudshu B'richa V'Shchinte doesn't mean that through my actions may I unify something that is separate, but l'shem yichud kudsha b'richa v'shchinte means let me reveal the always already present unity between Yesod and Malchus, between kudsha b'richa v'shchinte. And the secret of drawing Moshe Rabbeinu into Eretz Yisrael, of being makir the nekuda of Moshe Rabbeinu in each and every one of us. Be'ezras Hashem, through the das of Moshe, which is the das of Rashbi, which is the das of the Ari, which is the das of the Baal Shem Tov HaKadosh, which is the das of Rabbi Nachman, which is the das of Kol Tzadikim Ha'amitim. We should be zoichet to Geula Shlema Berachim Rabim Be'ezras Hashem.